What's up, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel. Special guest joining us today, Jeeho Yoo from the Yonhap News Group in Seoul, covering sports. Here to talk a little bit about the Seoul Series. Jeeho, thanks for joining us. I know the time change here is extreme, so middle of the day for you. So I appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great to be on here, Jeff.
Well, the reason we're here is because the Dodgers Padres, a huge series kicking off Major League Baseball March 20th and 21st in Seoul. As I'm digging through, this is the first time Major League games have ever been played in South Korea. Help us understand, how big of a deal is it that these two teams are playing games that count in Seoul?
It is a big deal. Like you said, these are the first regular season MLB games to be played in Korea, and also the fact that it's the Dodgers and the Padres, and
Yeah.
the Dodgers, because of the history with some Korean players, they're, I guess, the most popular MLB team in Korea, among the neutrals. Even though they don't currently have a Korean player there. They have a rich history of having Korean stars in their system. Like 30 years ago, Chan-ho Park became the very first Korean player to play in MLB, and he was with the Dodgers. And of course, guys like Hee-seop Choi and Jae-seo went through the system. And of course, most recently, Hyunjin Ryu, 2013 to 2019. His final year there, he was one of the top pitchers in the National League in baseball. Actually, led the majors in the ERA that season. So, Korean fans, baseball fans, a lot of the neutrals would kind of naturally gravitate toward the Dodgers just because of the history with the Korean players. But in recent years, with the Padres, of course, Ha-seong Kim has emerged as pretty good MLB player.
Yeah.
Didn't look like it in the first couple of years, but he won a Gold Glove this past season. And of course, they recently also signed another Korean player, Woo Seok-go, the closer for the LG Twins. Up until last year, they won the Korean Series, and he signed a 2-year deal earlier in January. So 2 Korean players for the Padres. Of course, Chan-ho Park is one of the, I guess, the consultant and advisors in the front office for them. So again, if you kind of dig into it, there's a lot of Korean connection for both teams. But the Dodgers, by far the more popular still team in Korea. And also, if you're an MLB fan, this is a chance to see Shohei Ohtani's regular season debut with the Dodgers in Korea, and that's a big deal. And of course, Yamamoto, also a big name who signed with the Dodgers, and Yu Darvish and Yuki Matsui for the Padres. So there's no shortage of, I guess, Asian stars playing in Korea, which is obviously pretty close to Japan. So there's a lot of interest, a lot of buzz around this series about, I guess, 2 months away.
You kind of layered it out there. I mean, it's one thing, the Dodgers and Padres over the last few years has become one of the better, I would say, rivalries of two teams that have historically, I shouldn't say historically, recently been very good and don't seem to like each other. So that's a big deal. Then you mention it. It's Ohtani's major league debut, assuming he's healthy. It's Yamamoto's major league debut, assuming he's ready. And then all of that on top of the fact it's the first major league games played in Korea. You throw all these things in a pot, and I can only imagine. And yet, as I'm doing the research here, they're playing at and I apologize here if I mispronounce that, the Gochok Sky Dome, where the Kiwoom Heroes play. And it's a stadium of just less than 17,000 seats. So how are they going to make this happen?
Yeah, so about 16,000 tops, I think, give or take. It's also Ha-seong Kim's former home stadium, so that's his old stomping ground. He played for the Heroes for 7 years before going to the Padres. And speaking of some players, I haven't even mentioned all the All-Stars and former MVPs, right, on either side, like Freeman's, Mookie Betts, and Manny Machado's and Fernando Tatis Jr.'s and all those big names that are coming over. But now with the Dome, it is a very small stadium, and Coach Chuck actually hosted some preliminary games during the 2017 World Baseball Classic.
Okay.
And Commissioner Manfred was actually here for a bit, and that was his first time visiting the stadium. And I personally asked him during the press conference. One of my first questions was, "Do you think this stadium can host MLB games down the road?" And his immediate response was, "Oh, this is too small."
Wow.
But this is the only dome that we have in this country.
Yeah.
And last week of March, toward the end of March, it can get pretty chilly. It can get a little nippy weather-wise. So it's hard to find a stadium to play, I guess the games that count at that time of the year, especially when you're talking about MLB guys coming over to play regular season games plus a few preseason, I guess, slash exhibition games beforehand. So, you can go a little south of the country, maybe find, a couple of bigger stadiums, but their markets aren't as big as Seoul. They're not as populated as Seoul. So, I mean, they're probably going to sell out still, but
Yeah.
it's not, it's not the capital region of the country. So, I guess ideally they wanted to stay in at least in or around Seoul. And Kochuk, the dome is relatively new. It opened in 2016. So,
Okay.
and they're working on improving some of the facilities inside right now. They're working on I guess, the ground. Their lockers are kind of smallish, but they're gonna, I think, work on that before hosting the two MLB teams.
Okay, well, let's talk about tickets. That's how I came across you on social media, and this has been a point of interest, I'll say. Tickets go on sale January 26th, but as you have been reporting, there's a bit of, I won't say even confusion. It doesn't sound like maybe there's even confusion, but that tickets may only be available to subscribers of a particular South Korean streaming service, which has a marketing
Mhm.
agreement with the Seoul Series and which will be streaming the game in South Korea. So what can you tell us, Dodger fans who may be interested in trying to make the trip over there? I'm sure, as you pointed out, there's probably plenty of people from Japan that would like to make the trip to Seoul to see these games. Are any of them going to have the opportunity to buy tickets?
Well, the short answer is probably not. It's going to be
Okay.
very difficult, if not, I guess downright impossible to find tickets unless you have a Korean mobile number and a membership to this website, Coupon Play. They are the official streaming service of the Seoul Series, also the marketing partner of MLB with MLB for these games. And again, you're going to need Korean mobile number and Korean address potentially, I think, to become a member. So it's not like you can sign up for maybe 30-day free trial, buy your tickets, and get out. So it's going to be hard to do that when you're
Yeah.
not in Korea, don't have a Korean number. Now, I've been getting a ton of inquiries about tickets from people in California, people in Japan, um, uh, over the last few weeks, and I get a lot of emails, a lot of tweets about, hey, when are the tickets going to be available? How am I going to get them? And I've been even approached by some of the tourist companies in LA or in California about, hey, I've got like hundreds of people ready to go. We got planes and hotels and other tour programs taken care of. We just don't have the tickets. How do I get them? Like, you know what? I hate to tell you, but it's going to be really hard to get them, especially
Yeah.
when you're traveling as a group, 50 or hundreds and what have you. Now, when I found out the tickets were going on sale on 26th, and then they weren't going to have anything available for foreign residents. My first reaction was personally, I think this is a mistake. I would
Yeah.
love to have more diversity in the stands. This is an MLB game being played in Korea with a lot of interest from Japan and California. So it would be nice to have some foreign tourists coming over, and not just to watch the baseball games here, but also kind of spend time in and around Seoul, kind of seeing the country. But at the same time, this is an argument I heard from some of the other people that I've talked to. This is the first regular season games in Korea, and Korean fans deserve to have the chance to,
Yeah.
see them in person. And people in California, they can watch the Dodgers and the Padres whenever they want, or that state they have a pretty big Japanese population, I would think, so they could go watch I don't know, Otanis and Masui's, what have you. But for people in Korea, first time they're getting a chance to see MLB in action in person, so maybe they deserve to get the tickets first, dips in the tickets, or I guess the only dips in tickets. So
Yeah.
there's both two different sides of argument, and one person kind of tweeted, I forgot which one, but this person was like, hey, it's better than having rich people from California dominating in the stands. It would be nice to see just the Korean fans in the stands. And
Yeah.
this person was not a Korean person, so there's a different perspectives of looking at the situation. But personally, I would love to see more diversity.
Yeah.
But I can understand why they're only making this available to Korean people.
And have you gotten a chance to connect with anybody either on the Korean Seoul Series side or MLB side and just to get clarity? Because it does sound like, again, this is it. Like it's at first, I
Yeah.
think when you started tweeting about it, it was like to be determined if there are seats that are going to be available to foreigners. And then your follow-up tweet was, no, this is it. This is the only way. Have you
Yeah.
gotten any clarity on what the why? Is the why as simple as, hey, there's only 33,000 people that are going to get to go see these two games. We'd like those 33,000 people to be Korean.
Yeah, no, I haven't really kind of dug into why as to why. I just got to find out. I just got to find out that they aren't gonna open up a separate channel for non-Korean people to buy tickets. So this is the only way they can purchase tickets. And this particular streaming service, they've done a lot of sporting events.
Okay.
They've hosted some of the European. They've hosted some of the European soccer teams in Korea, where they were the kind of same situation. They were the exclusive streaming service provider, and also they were the marketing partner and ticketing agency. So, I don't know if you follow the Premier League.
Yeah.
Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League, they've got a Korean star, Korean captain, Son Heung-min, Sonny. He came here a couple of years ago played against a couple of other teams in Europe. And Coupon Play was the official streamer and also the ticketing partner. So people could only buy tickets from their website. And this is the same arrangement with the Dodgers and Padres series. So you have to be the member of the service. And to do that, you need a Korean mobile number to sign up. And also, I think Korean permanent address as well. So basically, it's going to be, essentially impossible for people living outside Korea to buy tickets.
Well, I'll say this. I joked with our co-host the other night. As somebody who's been to Seoul a number of times, again, I pointed out to you, I've got my KT Wiz KBO jersey on here. As a guy that sort of came across Korean baseball in 2020 when it was the only thing going on, and the passion of the fans, the quality of the game, I think are things that to an outsider, they may be surprised by. And the Dodgers and Padres, by the way, you've reported are also going to play exhibition games against the LG Twins and the Kiwoom Heroes, which will be fun to see kind of some of those matchups as well. But I joked with my co-host, as somebody who's been to Seoul, just go to Seoul. Even if you can't get tickets to the game, like you will be around it. There will be lots of people in Dodgers jerseys, and Seoul is one of my favorite places in the entire world. Some of the best food in the entire world, one of the coolest cities in the world. So I'm still hopeful that Californians make the trip, even if getting tickets doesn't end up being a reality. Because I mean, I would imagine that there's going to be quite the atmosphere just in and around the city, given how baseball crazed Korea is. And again, the pomp and circumstance around Ohtani and Yamamoto, Ha-Seong Kim, Yu Darvish, etc.
Yeah, it's that week in particular is going to be a great week of baseball because the Dodgers and Padres are in town. They're playing exhibitions against the Heroes and the Twins, and also the Korean national team.
Wow!
And then they play the regular season games on 20 and 21st, and then KBO regular season starts on 23rd.
Cool.
So there's a lot of baseball bunched up within that short window. So there's going to be a lot of excitement among baseball fans during the particular time of the year. Again, it's a bit of an early start for both MLB, I guess, and also KBO. But hey, earlier the better, I guess, with the baseball season starting.
It beats spring training, but that's cool. There you go, Dodger fans. If you are planning on going over there, if you extend your stay by just a few days, you can go see some KBO games, which, again, if you haven't seen these on TV, they look like a blast. I mean, they just look like an incredible baseball experience. So it should be a good time. So Jeeho, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your reporting. You can find him at Jeeho Yoo on Twitter, X. Tons of information, I'm sure. Do you know yet? Are you going to be at these games as a credentialed reporter?
Yeah, the credentials is going to be a little tricky because this is an MLB event. So I don't know how they're going to handle all the demands from the KBO guys like us, like me. Obviously, we're going to have some reporters from Japan. So, and it's a small stadium, right? So yeah. I don't know how they're gonna do this, but I'm gonna worry about it when I get there, maybe in March.
You got a couple months. We appreciate your time. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Thanks for joining us here on DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. If you're new, please subscribe, ring the notification bell down below. We will see you next time. As always, folks, go Dodgers.